welcome to Build Brunch, the daily morning show where we talk about the latest topics in pop culture. I'm Brittany Jones-Cooper.
I'm Shannon Coffey.
I'm Allie Colbert.
And I'm Lucas Tim. Hi, everyone.
Let's start with our morning pop. The U.S. women's national soccer team is returning home after their big win.
Woo!
Pop singers Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello were spotted packing on the PDA, and the royal family has officially released photos from baby Archie's christening. Now let's serve you our favorite stories of the day.
Disney made headlines after announcing singer and Grownish star Halle Bailey will be stepping into the iconic role of Ariel in the live-action Little Mermaid. The decision was met with both praise and criticism on social media.
I kept reading that as Halle Berry, too.
Yeah, well, it's funny because it's like, I saw like a lot of racists online being like, I can't believe they cast Halle Berry. And so I was like, wow, like this is amazing. Not only a woman of color, but like Ariel's gonna be like a grown-ass woman.
She's 57 years old.
50 years old.
So I was like, this is so cool. And this is still super cool, but you know, Ariel is still young.
Yeah,
I
do
just
love
thought
that
we were gonna get older.
Halle Berry then did tweet to her like,
Yeah.
I love you so much, happy to share a name with you, like congrats. Because everybody is supporting this beautiful young woman because they should.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the people who aren't are idiots. Like, Ariel is not a real thing. She's not a real person. She's a mermaid. She's a fictional character. She could be black, she could be purple, she could be yellow. You know who else could be black? Jesus, Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny. These are not real things. They could be whatever race you want them to be.
I did like that Freeform's response pointed out, like they actually had a very logical response. One, if Ariel is Danish, there can be black Danish people. And two, the ocean is huge.
Yeah.
Like she can be swimming anywhere. You have no idea who her King Triton slept with.
Thank you.
And also King Triton can be black. So it's like, I mean, I'm really pumped at this. I think she's so talented. I don't know if this is by the grace of Beyonce we got this, but I do think Beyonce is somewhat involved because of Lion King. But I love The Little Mermaid, so I'm really excited. And when these live action films, we'll get to what you talk about Mulan, like not only redo the anime movie, but enhance it, change it, build the world out, and this is just another example of them doing that.
Because on top of her just being this beautiful, talented young girl, her voice is so amazing. If you've never heard her sing with her sister Chloe, they're in a group, Chloe and Halle, she has this like jazz tinge, like ethereal voice that is a mermaid voice. So that is why they cast her, because I think she really is the best actress for the job.
Right.
So, I mean, it just is an extra bonus that she's a woman of color.
And there's rumors that Melissa McCarthy is being cast as Ursula. But what do we think? What do we think about that?
I want Lizzo.
I know.
Come on, we've all seen Lizzo dressed up as Ursula, playing the fucking flute.
Come on.
It's so perfect. It'd be so amazing. This is a musical, right? It is gonna be a musical. Like, no offense. How are you not gonna cast Lizzo?
Yeah, I was hoping, maybe even a drag queen. I was saying that
or
on Twitter
drag
too. Ursula is, I mean, is she modeled after a famous drag queen, which I'm blanking on the name, apologize for that. But I mean, that could be interesting too. Though I do like Melissa McCarthy, she's a very talented actress.
But does she sing?
I don't.
That's the thing, it is a musical.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I don't
and
know.
Ursula does have a song, so it's, you know.
Aquafina may be in this as well, as
Sebastian?
no, I think as the seagull.
The seagull, yeah.
Yeah.
And
As
then
the seagull.
That makes sense. She has that voice. Like, she's gonna do great during that gurgle scene.
Yeah.
A lot of people also want Idris Elba to play the king.
Oh my God.
King Triton.
I think they just want to see him shirtless.
Or Terry Crews. Terry Crews has been campaigning hardcore for it.
Pecs, he's like,
Terry Crews is not being shy about it. He's like, I want to be King Triton. I used to love
oh
King
my God,
Triton.
it worked.
What a thirsty daddy.
I want Idris Elba though more than I want.
Oh.
I do
Yeah,
too.
me-
Especially
Idris
like
Elba
a
is-
gray,
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
Idris with the gray facial hair and the
Oh, yum.
little
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And did you guys see that the Mulan trailer was
Yes.
released?
Yes.
Oh my
I am so excited. I think we have it. If you want
Yeah,
to
I
throw
just
to
want
it.
to watch it. Let's not
I
watch
love
our
it so
show.
much.
Yes, I will bring honor to us all. Quiet. Composed. Graceful. Disciplined. These are the qualities we see in a good wife. These are the qualities we see in Mulan.
It is my duty to fight him.
I mean, unbelievable.
Hear me out.
Unbelievable.
Hear me out. I think it's a good trailer, but like, I don't think it's like mind-blowing. Like, I want some like music from the.
Let's
What?
get down.
No, I like need to like that. The music.
Brittany was just
I was
gonna
just
sing
giving
it
you
for
the music.
Oh shit. Go.
Let's get down to business.
Yeah, that's.
To defeat the Huns.
Yeah, like I needed like some sort of like remix of that original music to like completely fulfill. Like that note wasn't satisfied for me that we didn't have that.
That's fair. I get that. That's a legit.
I disagree, but I understand the love of the original music because the Cinderella live action remake I thought was really good, and they didn't have the music, but because I thought they really expanded the character, especially the stepmother. This seems to totally expand the myth of Mulan and her character and Chinese culture and the fighting. Oh my God, I think that looks so cool. This is what the world needs right now. This is the feminist hero we've been waiting for. Well, also Megan Rapinoe of the United States soccer team. She's awesome too. But like, this is great.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
To your point, there is a love interest in the story, but they don't really highlight him in the trailer, which again, I think is very intentional to show that she's this warrior who is doing it on her own. I mean, I like that.
I love the whole, but they're adding the whole like kung fu element as well, like her flipping through the air. Mulan wasn't doing that in the animated movie.
Was she though towards the end?
I think she was.
I mean, she was doing stuff. I mean, she was running across the palace. I mean, come on, but. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I love the original Mulan. I love the Emperor in that movie.
You know I do, yeah.
I mean, this is so exciting. I'm so pumped.
I'm with you. It was my favorite Disney show.
Yeah.
I could honestly sing Make a Man Out of You right now if you guys let me.
Right.
It's based off of Yentl, which stars Barbara Streisand. I mean, it's got layers
full circle
for me.
for you.
Wow.
I love it.
I used to have a Mulan doll.
Did you really?
I really did.
Really?
I think the part where you say used to is a lie.
It is.
Used to.
It is
You
in
have
a
it.
case.
Is it a doll of Mulan herself?
It was a doll of Mulan.
Did you play with it?
Yeah, I think I'd reenact some stuff. I had a couple of the princesses. She was always one of my favorites.
It was
'cause
amazing.
She could fight.
And Michelle Kwan also did a performance to the soundtrack. I mean, there were
Right.
layers of interest for me with this, so I'm excited to see what they do.
And before Mulan, we have Lion King, which comes out like in 10 days, and they just released the cast photo. And if you just bask in the glory of Beyonce in this photo, I mean, look at her, front and center.
I didn't see anybody else.
You don't see anyone else. Who are those other people?
don't know.
Though they all are incredible people as well. But look
They
at
are.
her.
She's just amazing.
I just love how the way she's doing press for this film. It's just like, she will post a picture of her and Nala, and that's it. Like, that's all we need to do. Beyonce's in this film.
And we're like, now she's a lion.
Now
We
she's a
believe
lion.
it. We accepted that she has become a lion.
Yeah.
That's who she is. Also, like, Alfre Woodard is royalty as well.
Yeah. But also, I got it, Billy Eichner and John Oliver, these two in this cast photo. God bless them, you know?
Yeah.
And Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
And Seth Rogen, Seth Rogen.
didn't
Yeah,
see
Seth
Seth
Rogen.
Rogen.
I was
God.
like,
There he
don't
is.
forget him.
The other white
Seth
guy.
Rogen.
The other
Who
funny
is
white
he-
guy.
Who is he voicing?
Pumbaa.
Pumbaa, I think.
I mean, who else would he voice? Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
funny. Who's John Oliver? The pirate?
Zazu, I think.
Yeah, Zazu.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Imagine if John Oliver was like Mufasa.
Or Rafiki.
Oh. Yeah, no, James Earl Jones is coming back. I mean, who else could play Mufasa?
Nobody.
Nobody, right?
Maybe like Samuel L. Jackson.
Okay.
No,
Morgan
I'm
Freeman?
joking. That would be a completely different Mufasa.
It would be.
there's
Get
enough
these
for
snakes
kids.
and these motherfuckers.
Yeah, there'd be a lot more expletive
Yeah.
in The Lion King if Samuel L. Jackson was attached. Moving on, as season 15 of ABC's The Bachelorette nears the end, Bachelor Nation is erupting at Hannah B's confession in the most recent trailer. Take a look. Let's get down to business.
Okay, add Hannah. So Hannah, Mulan, Megan Rapinoe are the feminist icons of today. Just add that. That's the list right now.
Girl, get it where you can get it. Good
Stop
for her.
telling women where they can and cannot fuck.
Thank you.
To qualify whether or not you're gonna be with them. That's so annoying. I hope she sends that dick home.
Well, he has been a pain in the ass the entire season, but I mean,
Camera side.
everybody knows in this show, when it comes down to the final 3 or 4, they have the private dates, and we don't know what happens in those rooms. We assume they're trying things out.
Hopefully. Doing a test.
They're
test run.
sampling the good.
Yeah. Well,
And for him to say, like, well, if you have hooked up with these guys or if you plan to, like, I can't be with you, it's like, did he know what show he signed up for? Because that's part of it.
I know, what an idiot.
trying to
It's like,
control her.
It doesn't matter what you tell them or what they know about it. It's like that stubbornness to still control. Like,
Yeah.
what is wrong with people?
he's the one that found Jesus in a shower.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a man whore that found Jesus in the shower and now I'm religious born again. I mean, it's such hypocritical BS. I mean, I was watching the trailer and I was talking to Brittany because I don't know how these guys aren't hard the entire time. So like we can't.
Why?
Just because the trailer they show, they're like doing all, they're kissing, they're dancing, they're on top, they're like it's really hot and girl, get it.
Yeah.
These guys are cute. They're in the mood. Luke's a bummer. He's a buzzkill. Everyone else is hard and ready and let's go for it. I think this show should have more sex and windmills.
Yeah,
I would watch it more. If this was an HBO Bachelorette, there would be a sex windmill every episode.
You want to know a show that
Hard
doesn't
and ready.
involve any slut shaming? The new season of Are You the One, which is completely like sexually fluid and it's amazing. You have people like hooking up left and right and they're talking about it and like respecting each other and it's so cool. This heteronormative shit is in the past. This is like the 1920s when I watched this.
Yeah.
I hate it. I think Are You the One is the future. It's so much better.
Yeah, I actually met one of the cast members the other day.
Oh my
He was
God,
great.
wow, we don't care.
And we're back.
Oh, I
Girlfriend, you are so on. Girlfriend, you are so
I
on.
will call up and I will say, girlfriend, America is where you want to raise your child.
Prime Minister New Zealand, girlfriend, you are so
And I
on.
will meet you on that battlefield, and I will cast out your hate, Mr. Trump, and I will cast it out with love,
love.
Mr. Trump.
And America would be the best place to raise your children.
Girlfriend, you are so on.
Girlfriend, you are so wrong.
It is, this, although conversation was interesting to me, and the things you bring up are extra interesting because we want her to be sex positive. Obviously, she should be able to have sex with who she wants. But also this show sets it up where she is dating 4 men and she is kind of confessing her love for them. And then it's like, do you still believe that somebody should do that and be sleeping with, like, would you be okay with it if it were you? It just brings up all these different questions of like, what do we expect from this show?
I don't know. I mean, it's the only show where, like, you watch someone make out with a bunch of people and you're like, I'm gonna marry them.
Right. And then get mad if she sleeps with them to choose who she's gonna marry, but it's like, that's the design.
You
of the
have
show.
to sleep with someone before you marry them. That is insane. Do not save yourself. You're not saving yourself.
You're doing the opposite.
We're really coming for the Jesus stance.
yeah.
Like, Jesus isn't
is
real.
black.
Don't save yourself.
Don't have sex as soon as possible.
As often as possible and as
Yes.
many windmills as possible.
In as many windmills and as many holes
Yeah.
with as many things.
Yeah, I feel like we only ever have these conversations when it's The Bachelorette, and we never have these fucking conversations during The Bachelor.
That's true.
Of course.
Yo.
Well, that's the source of the problem.
He'll be like, oh, I'm gonna get stuck in this one girl. I'm gonna go on this next date because I can't get her off, but like nobody questions it. And now like whenever it's The Bachelorette, we're like, is it okay that she's like being physical? And I'm so fucking over it.
I know.
This conversation to me is so stupid.
It is. And I love though, a couple seasons ago, Caitlin Bristow, she was like, I think one of the first women to have sex not in one of the fantasy dates. And she was like, what's the problem? And I thought that was such an
Before
important
the fantasy suites?
Yeah, she just like connected, I think it was with Nick. And they
Nick
had a,
Viall?
Yeah.
Ew, what a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a big
Fine.
mistake.
Guys, 2 episodes ago on Are You the One, Kai slept with 2 people like within the span of like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Like nobody's slut-shaming, they're just like, okay, well, we gotta know that you're gonna like have sex with everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Like guard our hearts a little bit more. And that show's supposed to be about
And your
real life.
parts.
Yeah. Oh no, your parts are
Sex
all-
Fair game.
positive, but I would hope you'd be STD negative.
See,
Yeah.
important note.
True.
I think they have protection in the house.
I hope so.
I hope she's using protection as well. I
In
don't
a
know where you
windmill?
find a condom in a windmill, but.
I heard they just blow right off. What? It's true.
It's science.
Well, Netflix announced that it will cut back on depictions of smoking after a report from the Truth Initiative found that the streamer topped the list of most uses of tobacco in programming across streaming, cable, and broadcast TV, with Stranger Things being the top offender. So Netflix then in response said that in any TV show that's rated TV-14 or any movie PG-13 or below, there will be no more smoking depicted, and anything above that only for historical or necessary. You know what? This is the thing. I've seen all Stranger Things, watched 2 seasons. Yes, the chief police, he's smoking in every episode, but he's an unhealthy guy who's stressed out. It's not like 11 is ripping cigs while killing the mind slayer or whatever. Like, the kids aren't smoking, it's the adult. I think it's 1985. They didn't know any better. They were wearing shoulder pads and everything.
Cigarettes are bad for you, but they're cool.
But really, Ali, they kind of are.
They're so cool. Like, they're never not gonna be cool. They'll give you cancer, but you can be cool.
weird. I actually think cigarettes aren't cool, and but I understand why they're in this show, and I don't really mind it in this show at all. So I feel bad that they're taking most of the heat. I am shocked when I feel like there was a little era where people were not smoking for a while, and now it's at an all-time high again. I can't go anywhere without sucking on secondhand smoke, and every teenager I see has a Juul. So I wonder what really was the whole beginning of this, because I don't think it was Stranger Things that made Juuls popular.
I just want to say, by the way, I don't smoke, despite what I just said, and Juuls are trash.
Yes.
That's not cool.
Wait, cigarettes are trash too.
Cigarettes
and
are trash,
Juuls.
but Juuls are really bad.
It's I don't know. I don't think
They're
it's
both
cool.
disgusting.
But I was
smoking
just
is-
in Europe for our break, and everybody smokes
Disgusting.
still. It is crazy, but you know what? They look kind of cool.
Do they? What
But
looks
no,
cool about
They look kind of cool.
You know what I think?
They looked fucking cool, and I had a cigarette, and I felt really cool.
Oh.
I've never had one in
that's
my
lame.
life.
You've never had one?
Never had a cigarette. I don't do the whole, when I get drunk, I smoke. Never have I smoked cigarette. I always
You just
thought it
do
was gross.
coke off people's... I don't smoke cigarettes. I just do blow off whoever's assholes around.
Wait, assholes are really absorbent. You shouldn't put Coke on an asshole, because most of the Coke is just gonna get absorbed by the lining, because anal lining is super just gooey and yum, so you're gonna lose most of your Coke. Keep it on the butt cheeks.
Flat surfaces.
That's good to know, and I hope Netflix will take that into
Let's
account as
pour it. Yeah.
depicting cocaine.
It's also hard, you can't snort, it's a wet surface, unless you
All right.
dry out.
Okay.
So, Stranger Things. No, I mean, I think this is an overreaction.
An overreaction? I think why not? If they're the primary perpetrator of showcasing tons of cigarettes and they want to be a cool, I mean, so many kids watch this shit.
I get it, but it's not from Stranger Things. No, the kids aren't watching Jim Halpern. I want to be whatever.
No, it's not from that. It's not I don't know
Yeah.
that it's from one specific thing. I think just when you intake a lot of content and you're inundated with it, and it's unhealthy, everyone knows it's unhealthy.
Right.
Netflix does its best to be ahead of the curve with being on top of stuff. Why not just take some out? It's not a big
and
deal.
You're right. I mean, it's illegal to market cigarettes and tobacco to children now. Obviously, they changed those laws. And so I think the industry is looking for unique ways to market to children and certain audiences to get them hooked on cigarettes. So you're right. I think it's smart for Netflix to be aware of it, to be we're getting ahead of this. But I don't think it's a problem
That's
right
it.
now. But I think maybe they're just seeing that it could become a problem.
Right. I mean, what's happening in Euphoria, I find is more interesting and exciting.
Pill culture?
Is there smoking in Euphoria?
I don't even see. But
haven't seen a
that also
cigarette.
shows you that's actually not what kids are doing.
That's what they're doing
Exactly.
pills.
Yeah, they're doing pills. They're doing hard drugs.
Guys, kids are doing pills now.
God,
Saw it on the
Euphoria is
internet.
so good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I know we've spoken about it a lot, but it's so good.
Yes, and speaking of HBO has officially released a trailer for a new comedy titled A Black Lady Sketch Show. The series, produced by Robin Thede and Issa Rae, will premiere on August 2nd. Take a look.
Spicy, pricey, making wrist icy. Bitches money making hokey.
There's nothing wrong with being an okay bitch.
What?
As long as you're not a basic bitch.
We are the chosen ones, bitch.
Hey,
Never have I ever stolen a boyfriend.
Sorry, Quinta, it was Dre.
Who cares? He had a Flintstone dick.
What is a Flintstone dick? You had to use your feet to make it work.
all the hot girls make it pop, pop, pop. Bad bitches with the bag say, ay, ay, ay. If he ain't talking about no money, tell him bye, bye, bye. And if you see a mad hoe, tell her ha, ha, ha. Hey, don't get mad, hoe. Get a bag, hoe. Don't get mad, hoe. Get a bag, hoe. Yeah, don't get mad, hoe.
Are you willing and able to assist in case of an emergency?
But
No, I'm sorry. I need a verbal yes.
you're
Yes.
not.
Yes.
Yet.
I will relocate you both to middle seats in the back seat if I just don't get a verbal yes.
Yeah.
Don't get mad, hoe. Get a bag, hoe.
Wow. You guys are all my ex-boyfriends. You'd like me to leave.
I'm very excited.
I mean, not only is this amazing for representation in general, but there's not many good sketch shows at all. So I really hope that this is a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah, fingers crossed.
The return of the sketch show form, I'm really excited for. This is really great for HBO. HBO needs something like this, and I think it's so fantastic. I really love Ashley Nicole Black. She used to be on Samantha Bee, and she left Samantha Bee for this, so I'm just really pumped to see her doing something really exciting and cool.
Yeah, and you know how much I love Issa Rae, and she's obviously forged this really positive relationship with HBO, where I feel like they're open to exploring different narratives and reaching different communities. I think that is in large part because of Issa Rae. So to see them branching out even more and bringing in more Black comedic actors, I think that is so important for them as a platform. But also just like all the people they're bringing in for this show is crazy. Like Lena Waithe, Yvonne Orji, Angela Bassett, Lil Rel, like everybody's in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen a sketch show with so much star power in all of history like this. And it's amazing. I feel like, you know, like white dudes in khaki shorts have been like dominating sketch comedy for the most part of our lives. And it's like, you know, and that's why maybe sketch comedy is so bad sometimes. And so like this is really exciting because someone can watch sketch comedy and be like, oh, I'm maybe now interested in taking a class.
Yeah, and absolutely, when you look at SNL and you remember when they were looking for a Black woman to be on the cast and they were saying it was sort of hard to find the perfect fit, and then you look at this show and they have found dozens of talented Black performers, and you're like, what were you doing, SNL?
That was horrible, because they didn't even say it was hard. That, like, Kenan Thompson literally said there just weren't any funny Black women out there, and I was like, that's hilarious, because I actually don't know any Black women who aren't hilarious. So, he must have been just living in a closet. Like, it's literally like, if you go, like, all of pop culture is stolen from Black Twitter.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm so happy to have this show and have them just be the face of it and own it instead of us stealing it in, like, the darkness and then putting it out with, like, white men doing it.
Absolutely.
Oh
and all of the performers who hopefully get their own deals and shows out of this, right? Like Robin Thede had the rundown, now she has this. Like, you see it's gonna probably, hopefully be a place where people can be elevated. And
if I have to listen to one more white dude telling me they're starting comedy, like every time a white dude quits comedy, an angel gets his wings. Like I am so excited to just watch diverse comedy. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Especially on HBO, because in Comedy Central, I think they push the limits, but HBO, there literally barely are any limits. So the fact that these Black women have the voice to potentially do whatever they want in comedy, I think is so liberating and cool that I'm so excited for this.
It's exciting. I almost exclusively watch female comedians, and from that, Black female comedians. Obviously, that's an entry point for me that I just, and it's hard, you know, to find as many specials as you want and different things like that. So it is nice that it's all gonna be one place.
Yes.
Female comedians are the best.
Yes.
They're the funniest.
They really are. Like,
they really are.
My favorite comedians are all women, always.
They're so fucking weird. I love it.
Yeah, smart.
Smart too. Well, guys, now it's time for today's guest. Neely Fisher is the founder of global food and lifestyle brand, The Flexible Chef. She's here today to talk about her new book, Food You Want for the Life You Crave. Take a look.
In today's world, we live in a state of abundance. An abundance of expectation, responsibilities, pressure. We have such an abundance of choices. Our problem isn't that we have too little, it's that we have too much. I crave a deeper breath. Some me time without the guilt. I crave a simpler way. I long for more love and even more chocolate. The freedom to do things my way. Most importantly, I crave success, both in and out of the kitchen. What if we could channel our inner chef and spend less time fussing and more time enjoying? Because you can put gorgeous food on the table and satisfy everyone you love without spending all day in the kitchen. Ultimately, I crave a flexible life. What do you crave?
Put your hands together for Neely Fisher.
Hi.
I'm so glad you're here because we love to talk about food.
All
so
right.
welcome to Brunch.
It's about that hour to eat,
really
isn't it?
Yeah. We have lunch waiting for us downstairs. So tell us, why did you want to write this book now?
You know what I didn't want to write? I didn't just want to write another cookbook. Because, I mean, do we need more recipes in the world? Do we need more rules or lists of, you know, how to make a roasted chicken?
Hell no.
There you go.
Interactive audience. No.
Can I get a hell no?
So yeah, I wanted to write a book that was gonna like add something to the conversation, change people's lives, give them the tools to transform from being a cook that just follows the rules to a chef that knows how to play with them, maybe even break them once you've mastered them. And so it's really robustly full with tools and tips. I think of it like a toolbox that you could use to transform any other recipe and potentially even your life, if I dare say.
I need that help. And there's over 100 recipes, right, in the book. So what was the process of just whittling that down? I would imagine that would be time consuming.
Yeah, so you know, I hosted around 16 people for 2 years, once a month, and I had these intimate cooking classes in my living room with like friends that eventually expanded to like a network, and I used it as an opportunity to test recipes. So I started, this was like even pre, you know, book deal, whatever, so I really knew the kind of base of what I was gonna include. But then once you start going through the process, which is like huge and crazy, you start to go like, oh, I need a couple more veggies, or I should probably add different, these flavors are similar, like how can I diversify and make it, you know, how can I choose a different recipe that's maybe gonna demonstrate a different technique or teach people something new? So it was a couple of years of a process until we kind of like got it tight, you know?
And on top of the recipe, you mentioned the flexible chef concept. What exactly does that mean?
Flexible chef is all about being masterful in the kitchen and in your life, more chef-like as I like to think of it. And the flexibility is really what I think of like my secret ingredient to sanity. So how can I just like not be such a perfectionist, right? If you think of like a chef being like, it has to be this way, right? How can I use flexibility to just bob and weave and play a little bit more so that my life is more fun?
Yeah, that's scary to me. I'm always afraid to go off the recipe.
Yeah, well, it's a practice. So you gotta like, first you gotta do it once, and then you're like, oh, I see. This is the part that's, you know, most essential. This is the part I can play with, and this is how I can modify, and this is how I can substitute. So it takes some practice.
Yeah. It takes some time.
Yeah. Or you could just buy my book, and I'll show you how to do it in every recipe.
Great. I'm just gonna take this one.
You could have that one.
I'm on Brittany's.
No, you better pay her for that right now.
I will pay you. You wrote this, you deserve it.
Venmo her right now.
Take checks?
I also identify with Brittany, wherever I cook, I think it leads to a disaster. But your book kind of addresses how to like salvage or flip a cooking disaster. Can you kind of mention like what are some of those tips?
Yeah, totally. I mean, well, what do you, like, do you guys cook? Like, what's your biggest, like, what was your biggest disaster?
I have problems where like I'll make like a sauce and it'll be too salty and I can't take away the salt.
That's hard.
So then I'm like adding other things to try and counteract something you have done too much of.
You just threw a real hard one on me, actually, because I think adding too much salt is the hardest thing. Yeah, like it sounds like you're doing it right. Like dilute it a little bit, make another batch and add it to it. That takes a lot of work, but like that could be a good idea.
Throw it away.
We're gonna have to add that.
She's like, throw it away.
Yeah, Brittany will take any excuse to just get on Seamless.
Right.
So it's like, too salty? Great, I'll throw away everything.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, but like things like, I mean, classic things like in baking, people typically either overbake or underbake a cake. Let's say brownies, for example, right? So like so many different things. So with brownies, I'll chop them up and add them like a Chunky Monkey ice cream on a cutting board, and then I'll freeze the brownies into the thing, and it's like a brownie ice cream. You can make a trifle. You're like,
that
woo.
sounds wonderful.
You can make a brownie pie, like chop it up and put it in with like some coconut cream and chocolate ganache.
I'm loving the combining of brownies to anything you're mentioning. This is mind-blowing to me. But also in the book, you mentioned how to like cut down some cooking time. That's the thing with me. I get very lazy. I'm with Brittany. I'd rather just order the Seamless. I don't want to cook. I want to watch my TV. You know, so what are some of the tips you can do to cut down the cooking time?
Yeah, great question. And by the way, it's summertime. Like, who wants to be? I don't want to be in the kitchen like ever.
It's too hot.
Exactly. So a couple things, and this is, by the way, the key, I think, to flexibility. Like being able to wing it is about first being prepared and organized in advance, right? Like you can't wing it unless like you have a backup plan, right? I have 4 kids, and I need to have things organized in advance, because if they come in at 6:30 in the morning hungry for breakfast and I have nothing, like what am I gonna do, right? So like
6:30 in the morning.
Well, actually lately it's been a little later.
Oh, okay. Thank God. Summer.
But yeah, like school, like school days at 6:30 in the morning, and so if I don't have anything prepared, they'll grab the cereal, which I prefer they don't do. So like things like making the frittatas the night before, and in the morning you just have to like maybe even sometimes pop it in the microwave, but hopefully in the oven if I have the extra couple minutes. So really preparing in advance, I feel like, is the super key.
Yeah, and going back to the chef concept, you kind of mentioned also the idea of what a chef is inside and outside of the kitchen. I really think that's really interesting. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. I'll give you a really good example. So I've been a yoga teacher for many years. Do you guys work out?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, does anyone not work out these days in New York? But yeah, right, we work out.
Shanna got really quiet.
Oh no.
I'm just looking
Well,
making
you look
sure I'm
great.
on topic. Thank you.
Note, tomorrow. So you'll be in an exercise class, for example, and the teacher will say like, okay, whatever.
Don't look at her.
Just like gloss over. She's like, oh, you're in an extra class. I've been to one. I know. And the teacher looks at you and she's like, what's wrong with you?
Why are you doing
you
something
doing
else?
that?
Right.
Yeah. And you're like, yeah. I know.
Most people are cooks in the gym or in a class, right? They just follow whatever the teacher says. And sometimes you walk out with like back pain or like it just doesn't work for you. Or maybe you like just had a baby or maybe like you, whatever, like you're going through something in your body, you have an injury, like you can't do that thing or
I thought
whatever.
you even just had a baby at the workout class and I was like, now that's an adventure. Like,
That's extra.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that.
Sorry, that's why I can't work out. Too much imagination.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
get distracted easily.
I love it. Anyway, you get my point, right?
Yeah.
So it's about being self-directed, self-motivated, self-confident in every area, really.
Yeah.
And you're the founder of The Flexible Chef, so could you tell us more about that?
Yeah. It started off, I've been cooking in my mom's kitchen since, I like to say, before I was old enough to reach her countertops. And so food was always a really big component. I used to run really big retreats around Asia and bring people together, and food was always a really big component. It wasn't like the essential component, but there was always like great food. And people are always like, well, can I get that recipe? I'm like, well, what about all these other great talks? And people just wanted to hear about the food. How was it that I was able to make healthy food? It happens to also often be things like gluten-free and grain-free and all the kind of free things that we like to think of that like are good for us. And they're like, how is that possible? So I always knew I was gonna write a cookbook. And I started the blog. I was writing recipes, articles on life and motherhood and family and workout and yoga and kind of inspiration, like kind of relatable inspiration. And so the blog kind of transformed into sort of a social media presence and a big, platform and people all over the world. And then the book.
Yeah, community.
And you have a show too called Mealy's Flexible Food. So if we tune into that, what can we expect to see?
Yeah, it's a pretty like straightforward cooking show where I talk about a lot of the things in the book, right? Showing you in a really quick, it's so fun to watch a video because you just like get it in a little nugget. Not to replace buying my book, by the way. So each one I think has 10 episodes. It's on FMTV, it's great.
And since it is summer, what are some of your favorite summer dishes and sort of tips for preparing meals in the summertime?
Yeah, so we quickly talked about cauliflower, which I feel like is just the best thing ever. It's like, how is a food all of a sudden trending? Like cauliflower has been around in the ground growing forever, and now it's on trend. But I just love cauliflower so much. I make it in a bajillion ways. I have a recipe for a cauliflower tabbouleh. I use purple cauliflower, and I chop it up with the usual herbs and tomatoes and cucumbers and onions and some garlic, and I add some pine nuts or sometimes macadamia nuts or something to give it like a rich texture and stuff. That's like one of my favorite summer things. It's great also to take in a little container and a picnic. Right? Oh gosh, I mean, so many other cauliflower recipes. I have a cauliflower shakshuka, which is a stewed tomatoes with eggs, and it's dotted with cauliflower. So yeah, lots of fun.
I saw cauliflower ice cream is now being sold. Ali's girlfriend put it on her story, and I was like, whoa, what's that?
Crazy?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think that might be the one cauliflower thing that doesn't sound good.
It tastes just like vanilla ice
I'm with
cream.
you.
Really? You tried it?
Yeah, it tastes amazing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I think they made it, Stu Leonard's, you know Stu Leonard's? They made it so that it's just a way for kids to sneak in like cauliflower, so it's not like predominantly cauliflower.
Well, and fair enough. It's a pretty like tasteless vegetable if you're not doing it, if it's just pureed bland. So fair enough.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm feeling a little inspired. I see a cauliflower fried rice here that it looks like maybe I could handle.
Yeah.
So thank you for providing this book, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
And you can pick up your very own copy of Food You Want for the Life You Crave wherever books are sold. That's all from us. We'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same table.